Hello.
Hi.
Great to see you all. Thank you so much for being here today. So excited to have so many of you jumping in the room today. And it's a strange day, as we all know. So we're going to take a breath at some point in this here time together. I want to start just by saying hello to everybody. So, hello, obviously, to Greg, our artist for the day, and Reggie, our other artist for the day. Hello to Lilo, who's in the room with us today, Lilo Gonzalez, one of our regular leaders. Thank you for being here. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Deborah in Kentucky. Great to see you. Betsy, the music director of Washington Rebels. Glad you're here today. Hello, Lisa in Indiana, or at least her hand flapping around there. Kathy in Virginia. Hello, glad you're here today. Hello, Jane. Nice to see you. Dan in Virginia. Karen in Arizona. Great to see you. Hello, Luda in Victoria. Glad you're here again today. And Doug, hello. Nice to see you today. Hello to David in New York and Kathleen in Albuquerque and Ray Ray in Chicago. Great to see you today. Hello to Janet in Georgia, one of the states that we're all holding our breath about. Thank you for being here today. Marnie in Charlottesville. Great to see you today. And Barbara in Massachusetts. Hello. Dennis in British Columbia and Lynn in Connecticut, and Sandy in Tacoma Park, Maryland. Nice to see you. Annette in California. Susan, hello. Great to see you today. Hello, Dick and Kathy in Victoria, also song leaders of ours. They led us, as was Dennis, I should have said, both of us during our Ubuntu Choral Network Week. Sheila in Florida, hello. And Nicola in England, hello. Gary in Massachusetts, hello. Pam in Maryland. Steve in Baltimore. Dion in Massachusetts. Hello, Nancy in Washington. Hello, Sonia. Nice to see you today. I'm not sure I've known you yet, but it's great to have you here. Anna in Maryland. Really glad to have you today. Carolyn in Idaho. Hindi in Toronto. Sydney. Ann in DC. Trish. Isabel in Florida. BB, nice to see you in Delaware. Sandy and Issei Barnwell, another one of our song leaders. Glad you're here today, coming in from DC. Jerome, nice to have you today. Let's see, Jamie and Busy Graham, Executive Director of Carpe Diem Arts, Harriet, and lots more folks who are not on video yet, Joni and Beryl and Valerie and Kathy and lots of others. Thanks so much for being here today. Hello also to everybody out there on Facebook Live. We're glad you're with us too, especially Mary in Omaha and Tiggs in Massachusetts. We know you join every day out there. So welcome to the Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Song. Today is the first day of our Singing for Racial Justice weeks. This is the second time we've done a special call out for racial justice in a series. I sent out a flyer today. If anybody doesn't have it, go ahead and pop your email in the chat to me and I will send it to you. It's a really exciting week of singing. Lots of great co-hosts and lots of great song leaders coming in the room with us. We're really excited. A couple quick announcements. My email's in the chat if you want to email me to be on the list, to get the flyer, or just to chat. I'd love to hear from you. Also, we have a donate link in the chat. It is absolutely your donations that are keeping this thing going. Thank you so much to everybody for their generosity. And let's see, I want to thank Binta Kulibali, our rapidly becoming not so new weekly tech person. She's here with us every Monday through Friday now, and we're so excited to have her here. All right, so today's host or co-host with me is Mr. Reggie Harris, who did a phenomenal concert last night. I hope some of you were able to be in there for that. It was great. Actually, I saw some of you in there with me on that. That was really fun. Glad to have you here today, Reggie. You're introducing a new artist to us, and we're hoping that after the singing, we might even be able to bring Lilo or Issei in for a little noise making or chit chat or something. Really, really glad you're here, awake, and on your first cup of coffee. Thank you, Reggie.
Well, thank you, Joe. And it's always a pleasure to see you and to co host with you. And hello, everyone. Take a nice, deep, deep breath. We are exactly where we are. And that I say with all respect to the fact that this journey that we are on as a nation and a world has been long and it has been consistent. And I think even though this is not necessarily where we want to be, this is where we are. And it reflects really where we've been for quite some time. And I think waking up this morning, and I did manage to sleep last night. And I think the concert last night that I did, and seeing all of your faces and getting to sing my body into a good space, really provided the opportunity for me to wake up this morning and say, We will not rest till the storm is over. So the storm's not over, and we knew it was not going to be over. So we gathered this morning. I see your faces, and I say welcome. And today there is probably no person on this earth that I would rather be talking to and listening to and singing with. And that would be my brother, and we are born 3 days apart, Greg Greenway and I. And our families also come from the very same area in Richmond, Virginia. And we have been walking this walk and talking this talk for a long, long time. Greg is a phenomenal songwriter, an amazing activist, and a really cool guy. And so this morning, I am happy to welcome Greg to our family and to our Singing for Justice Week. So Greg, thank you so much for being with us. And what do you have for us this morning?
I have one of your favorite songs, Reggie Harris, a song that you made beautiful on my CD called Weightless by writing really the harmony parts. And it's something I will forever be proud of and love to hear. So thank you. And I want to say to Joe and to Benta and everyone, Isai, I am humbled to be the one playing a song in front of such an esteemed group of human beings who happen to also be musicians. So I thank you for that. The song that really Reg wanted me to play, and I'm happy to play this at any place, any time, is a song I wrote for Rosa Parks. Now, I was born in Richmond, Virginia, the ex-capital of the Confederacy. I was born to the most privileged group of people on earth, white males in America. And what that makes me privy to is a certain kind of blindness. And I think we're seeing that blindness exhibited all across the map as we look at our TVs. But thanks to Rosa Parks, I could see through the stories I was handed. I could see the courage. I wanted to know the story, and perhaps that's what made me who I am. Now I'm going to teach you the chorus because we're all going to sing this together. I wrote this on the New Year's Day after Rosa Parks had died that year. Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. So there we go, line by line. Goodbye, Rosa. You got it? Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The year has changed. The one when you left us. The one when you left us. The one you became. The one you became. The ones who remember your name. The ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved, and the day you would not be moved. So I'm going to do the whole thing together because that's the way I start the song. Goodbye, Rosa. The year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. Now how many tumblers fell into place? How many Sundays just had to wait? How many lifetimes waited away till the moment came down to you? If you were big, strong, and threatening, it might not be the case. Like thousands before you, blurred and erased, but you were small and defenseless, the face of grace. The moment it came down to you. I can't take no more, I won't take no more. I can't take no more, I won't take no more. I can't take no more, won't take no more. Goodbye, Rosa, the year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. The year that this happened was 55. I'd been born in Virginia, barely arrived in the bundle my fathers handed me. To their surprise were the ears to hear you. I can't take no more, won't take no more. I can't take no more, won't take no more. I can't take no more, won't take no more. Goodbye, Rosa, the year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, and the day you would not be moved. Goodbye, Rosa, the year has changed. The one when you left us, the one you became, the ones who remember your name, the day you would not be moved. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. The day you would not be moved, and the day it came down to you.
Oh, my. I remember the first time that well, first of all, thank you for that song today. And I remember the first time that you played that song for me, and it just went to a deep place. First of all, I often talk about the fact that, we write songs about our sheroes and heroes. We write songs about issues, about topics that are passionate in our desire to make the world a better place. But it's really difficult to write a song in context that introduces a subject like Rosa Parks sitting down on that bus, and also have it be such tremendous art. And I just want to gush a little and say thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
If I could ask, just what touched you in such a way that you knew you needed to write a song about that amazing woman?
I think you have to have been born in a culture where, when things happen like that, for instance, when Dr. King died, the first person who walked past me said, he was nothing but a troublemaker. And so there is, when you're the youngest kid like me, the youngest of three boys in a very athletic family, so there's a lot of domination going on. Fairness becomes a big issue. So at a certain point, those stories and what you see in the world start to have dissonance. They build a dissonance in you. And then you start to open your eyes and you see the heroism and the everyday of people who are, one step beyond your daily circle, where you go in your life. And I realized that living in Richmond, Virginia, I'd been told, a beautifully crafted, basically a play that has been crafted for rewritten over 400 years to match what white people see, so that they are kept in this little theater of white supremacy. And so when that story just touched me. And then I also learned that the real courage for her was not just sitting in the seat on the bus, but it was the night before when her family begged her not to do it for fear of reprisals. And so the courage that it took to do that, to put her body on the line, just as it was for everyone on the Edmund Pettus Bridge to put their body on the line, I mean, literally put their body on the line, you have to respect that courage, and then you see what is behind that. You see the history that's behind it. And so that song was precipitated, but literally I was waiting to get picked up for a ride on New Year's Day, and the New York Times has a section that they do on New Year's Day of all the significant people who passed on that year. And there was the picture of Rosa Parks and her face of grace. And it just, there's a poem, I was an English lit major, so it has to come out every now and again. But W.H. Auden wrote a eulogy for William Butler Yeats in which he said he became his admirers. And so this is what happened. It's not admirers, it's those who pick up the baton. It's those who keep this going. And so I felt like I needed to do my part because I have a certain credibility amongst white people because I was born in the capital of the Confederacy. I was given every opportunity to buy the whole program, but I did not. And so I think that affords me an opportunity to talk particularly to white people. And my job is to hold up a human face. And I wanted to hold Rosa Parks' graceful human face up for everyone.
Well, you hold it up so very well, and the interior. I know you mentioned that her courage of sitting on that bus was one thing, but her courage to open herself up to the experience of being identified as the person and then having to go through that entire trial and be held up as this woman in the community who was disruptive.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you heard someone called a troublemaker? Gandhi was a troublemaker. King was a troublemaker. It's only a troublemaker to those who don't want to see anything changed.
So let me ask you how you feel this morning. You write these songs about Rosa Parks, about Dr. King, about John Lewis, and as a white American, looking at the way that our nation has decided to play this out, what are your thoughts this morning?
Well, my thoughts are that you look at the map of the United States and you see all that red, and you see little islands of blue. And this is something that I think we talk about all the time. I think there's a huge amount of white Americans that literally can go through their day without any significant contact with black Americans. And so they're susceptible to a demagogue like Trump. And am I shocked a little bit? Yes, I guess I couldn't be. I shouldn't have been. I can't imagine that a candidate has done what he has done. I mean, I followed him long before he was ever a candidate, when he was a real estate person, taken to court for, racial, discrimination in his housing. So I've been aware of him for a long time. And when that perfect storm happened that allowed him that avenue in, I don't think even he thought he was going to win. It just gave voice to what I think everyone on this broadcast is fully aware of, that racism is a fundamental aspect of American life. And it showed itself up today, and I'm just hoping that that it will turn, that the Democrats will have a chance to be in charge, and that this Black Lives Matter will continue. It will continue, whether it's tear gassed or supported. We'll see in the next few days. But I'm just feeling like there's so much work to do. There's so much work to do. And there's a tremendous, huge body of people in this country who have felt left behind enough by progress, by technology, by whatever, that they are susceptible to that kind of demagoguery. And as a student of history, I always studied Nazi Germany to understand how that happened. You know, and in the beginning, I thought Hitler was a crazy person who manipulated Germany into World War II. No, Hitler was a populist. Well, this is what we have with Donald Trump. He's a populist in the strangest sense, but he has ridden this latent racism to this point. And I think a lot of those people are followers and they're being led. And my hope is that when shown another way, that we can find the America we never found, that we can find the America that I found in 70,000 people going together on March 8th, 2015 across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That was a community of people moving all together with common purpose in the face of history. And that was so powerful. And I think when people understand that power of that togetherness, of the unity, and when white people understand that they will be freed by this, that's how I'm feeling this morning, that there's just tremendous amount of work to be done.
I want to just look into the chat and call attention to the fact that people are just reflecting how moved they were for the song and for the work that you do. I love Benta put in thinking about Rosa Parks. I'd like to remember Claudette Colvin, the young 15-year-old girl who inspired Parks,
Right.
who sat down and did not rise, who refused to give up her seat earlier, and to all of those women who do not get mentioned, Joanne Robinson and Fannie Lou Hamer, all of Diane Nash, who literally saved the Freedom Rides. I remember the story is that the Assistant Attorney General given the job of calling Diane Nash to tell her that they had to suspend this idea that they were going to continue the Freedom Rides, and his thing was, who the hell is Diane Nash? He wasn't ready to confront the young woman that he had on the phone when she told him that they'd already written their wills and that they would be on the bus. So it's important to hold these people up, because for me personally, this is where I keep my grounding. It's one thing to look at what's happening today and to think that in this bubble we are experiencing this or looking at that, a very short line of history. But it's those people who year after year after year, since 1619, most of them whose names we don't really know. I want to just bring Lilo into the conversation. I know we have a couple of our other song leaders today. And Lilo, you're someone who, first of all, good morning to you. It's good to see your face today. And I just want to say, as someone who, has come to this country, who has embraced this country, coming here to take advantage of the opportunity, but throwing yourself right in and bringing with you a sense of justice and of working for freedom. What are your thoughts this morning on seeing where we are?
Reggie, probably we are in the same boat, we didn't sleep well last night, you remind me of 4 years ago, and, I teach music to children, in different daycare. And I remember coming to the daycare the day after the election, and moms and dad were crying, and the kids also, they feel, and I didn't know what to sing, I was supposed to sing, and I just get my guitar and start singing, this land is your land, this land is my land, and look, it's changed. I can feel the happiness of me, and I can see the kid and the parent and the teacher, they were so happy singing the song. Beautiful song, Greg, and I think we as a musician, we need to keep doing that, because that's very important. The music is powerful, and so let me say, as a Latino, I feel sad, especially some friends and relatives, they are telling me, 4 years ago that Trump was going to bring God into the White House. Listen, that's and 4 days ago, a relative who lives in Philadelphia sent me exactly the same. He said that they told him in this congregation that if we want to keep God at the White House, we need to vote for Trump. And that's the way. And you can see, and it's so sad. It's so sad how they play with God and this guy. I say, what God? What God? I don't think that Mr. Trump. I believe in God, but I don't believe in Mr. Trump God. I believe in the people. And we have beautiful song about talking about how God is the guy who's working, cleaning the houses, in the trash can, cleaning all, doing the essential worker, so that's something, and let me just say, just to finish, 4 years ago, I went to a march and there was a sign, Trump is a symptom, he's not the disease, and that's the things. And I think where we are is where we are. And we can see what's going on. And I think that's why Black Lives Matter, we need to push for that. We need the poor campaign. We need to, we need to democratize the economy. We need to sharing. That's very important. So it is the system that we need to work. And that's the thing, it's a big, in this march, there was a big sign, He's not the, he's not the disease, he's a symptom. And I think that's very important. So thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Greg. And it's good to see Binta, these young people that we need to bring them because they will continue the struggle. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lilo. And it's your words are really hitting me. Trump is a symptom. He is made possible because our system needs people like him to survive. And I was just reading a comment from Carolyn that said it's, I think I've lost the comment, but basically she said it's an important, serious thing to be alive on this fresh morning in our broken world. And I think so often about the fact that we are the vaccine. We are part of the vaccine that treats the disease that we see in these symptoms with people like Trump and McConnell. And we have to continue to be that vaccine, that healthy force of truth that we do believe originally that eventually will win out. But it's still it's like COVID-19. It doesn't end easily, and it continues to have after effects. I know that we have Isai Barnwell in our room, and I had the opportunity to share some time with her last Tuesday. Isai, it's always wonderful to see you in the house. Do you have anything to share with us this morning, either a thought or maybe a verse of a song?
Not this morning.
Well, thank you. Well, then we're going to send you some energy. We'll send you some healing energy. You just sit back, my sister. It's wonderful to see your face, and you are wearing red today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Regeneration. I'm just so struck by the fact that we sing. Pete Seeger, in a conversation I had with him years ago, I was whining and complaining about how hard it was. And Pete was not somebody who had a lot of tolerance for whining and complaining. So he just kind of paused. You always hated it when Pete would pause, You knew something devastating was coming. And then he just kind of looked off in the distance and he said, when things are at their worst, that's the time you should be singing. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, fine. So this is the time to be singing. And Isai and Lilo and all of our song leaders, you have been holding up the spirit and the heart of the people. And that's really what our job is. It's our job. I learned from coaching basketball that you never want to get too high and you never want to get too low. And you want to understand that victory is fun, but sometimes you learn more from, a defeat or a close defeat than you learn from an exceptional victory.
Yeah.
And so this morning, I'm kind of looking at the ball game and kind of saying, well, first of all, it's not over yet. And secondly, what are we going to learn from this? Well, one thing we learn is that the nation is just as divided as we thought it was. And this is where we are. So, Greg, do you have any last thoughts this morning about going forward? Or I know you have blessed my life with so many amazing songs. I think I'm going to ask you to lead us actually in one of your other songs, Mighty Long Way, or
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
which I think is a perfect song for this morning.
All right, now? Am I doing
Sure,
this?
why not?
All right. All right, this is just, it's a call and response. So it's a mighty long way. It's a mighty long way from over yonder, from over yonder. It's a mighty long way. It's a mighty long way from there to here, from there to here. And then you got to sing with me, so you got to hear the whole thing. We're going to take it. Oh, yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. Here we go. It's a mighty long way. It's a mighty long way from over yonder, from over yonder. It's a mighty long way. It's a mighty long way from there to here, there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. You got it? All right, there's a couple of verses. Every child born who is a revolution with a song inside. Some won't hear it, oh, some hear nothing else. He'll sing night and day just to keep that song alive. Oh, it's a mighty long way, it's a mighty long way from over yonder, from over yonder. It's a mighty long way, it's a mighty long way from there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. Now when you've got a dream, you've got to stand up. Stand up and shout it loud and clear. What's that I'm hearing? It's the voice of the people singing that we will make that walk from there to here. Oh, it's a mighty long way, it's a mighty long way from over yonder, from over yonder. It's a mighty long way, it's a mighty long way from there to here. We're gonna take it, oh yes, one step at a time, so that we can make that walk from there to here. So that we can make that walk from there to here. So that we can make that walk from there to here.
So that we can make that walk from there to here. Well, I see so many messages in the chat that tell me that people are not giving up and people are still ready to work. And a lot of people are sharing that we need love in this time. We need to love ourselves. We need to love each other. And we need to keep love in the fabric as we continue to work towards something, not always against it. So, Greg, I want to invite people to give you a big shout out, raise the roof for who you are and for what you do and how well you do it.
Thank you. Feeling it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Greg. That was great songs. And thank you so much, Reggie. That was absolutely great to share the hosting with you today. What a whole lot of moving stuff happening in this room today through the music and through the chat. And in the chat box in particular, seeing people who are saying that they were feeling impossibly despondent or blue coming into the room and feeling better now going out. Same with me. I do have to say that yesterday, something kind of magical happened over the day. People were sending me links to things that they were telling me would make me feel better or that they thought I'd find interesting. And I compiled them into one big email and sent it out to all of you. And the number of people who wrote back and said that they sat there on their like day of trying to figure out how to distract themselves and went through these links and were so moved. One of them being Reggie's concert from yesterday, which I do know a lot of you were in. So if anybody has some links, I'm offering it up again. I'd be happy to send out an email later. Send me whatever you think is the perfect food for the rest of the day to keep our hearts and minds in the right place. And I'll send something out this afternoon for everybody. And thank you again to Reggie and to Greg. I did see a mention of Chris Matthews and one of her songs in the chat. Tomorrow, Reggie's hosting again with me, and Chris Matthews is our artist, and she's going to be singing a new-ish John Lewis song that she wrote. And so please come back tomorrow for more of the way of finding our hearts. And keep in mind that a lot of this rests on us at this point. It's not exactly an anxiety-reducing thought, but it is a really important thought to keep with us. So let's go, team. Let's keep it up. And love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you also to Lilo and to Issei for adding your presence to the room. Thank you to the other folks in the room who've been song leaders, the Ubuntu Chorus Network folks. And I'm going to say goodbye to everyone on Facebook right now. And thank